March 14, 2012, my son Thomas lost his battle with the disease of addiction. I now belong to a club that no parent should ever belong to. Do you know the signs? Do you know the trends that children are doing in today's world? Do you know the signs and symptoms? Do you know the signs and symptoms of drug abuse? I want to empower and educate Long Islanders by bringing a force of professionals and how to prevent the disease of addiction. Long Island in Crisis. You're making me crack up. Good evening and welcome to Long Island in Crisis. This show is dedicated to empowering and educating people on how to deal with the disease of addiction, whether it's their family members, whether it's themselves. We have a crisis on Long Island. We have an epidemic nationwide. And tonight is a special show because we're going to talk about how some communities right here on Long Island are stepping up and doing everything and anything that they can to bring awareness to their communities. Because it's time for us all to step up and do whatever we can to save, whether it's your child or someone else's child or someone else's family member. We all have to step up and value everyone's life. So let me introduce you to Lorianne Novello and Judy Raimondi from Lindy's Cares. So talk to me about your coalition. How many years has it been around?
Lindy Cares started in June of 2013.
Okay.
Myself and another woman in our community really had a strong desire to just change, just be out there and speak to parents more. My daughter had come home from school one day talking about a friend just getting out of rehab, and I was extremely alarmed and so scared.
What grade? What grade?
She was in 9th grade.
Yeah.
Her first year in high school. So
it's frightening.
Started putting some footwork in and did some research on what other communities were doing. And there were two local other, Babylon and West Babylon, that had been doing some work. So I reached out and we had a meeting. We had a round table. It was incredible to see that other people were passionate. Unfortunately, Babylon had lost a child to alcohol. And this mom was really,
Was that the child in the woods that time on New Year's Eve?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some story.
That was some story.
It was. So, on June 4th, Lindy Cares had brought in 40 people together to start our journey, to start the conversation of what's going on with our kids and how are we, as a community, making a strategic plan to attack this or to support them or to help them. So we had from our village level to the business level to the town level to the county level at this table. Our firemen, business owners, civic groups were all with us to start this conversation. And
Which in and of itself is amazing because a lot of communities still say,
Yes.
or maybe not as much today, but certainly 5 years ago, not in my backyard. We don't have that problem here. But I think that every community now is saying, we have to do something.
Without a doubt.
And it's...
And we did something pretty incredible that night. It's called a mapping activity, and you have the ability with a mapping activity to start to identify where the risk factors in your community lie. So we had big sheets of paper around the room, and we broke up into groups, and there were youth at that table. My daughter Victoria was there, and they started drawing pictures of different locations within our community. There was a mattress on top of an elementary school. There was drug being dealt behind another school. The police were aware of some of it because the police were at that table too, but they were not aware of some other things.
Wow.
So it started a conversation, it started a movement of people working together because we know what one person can't do alone that we can do together.
Well, FIST,
Yes.
when you come together, and that's just families in supportive treatment. And it is true. You can change the world.
Can.
You really can. So I know you guys just got the grant too this year, correct?
Yes,
We did. January of this year, I had a community, my treasurer that was moving, and Lori had attended a meeting this year. And she really just fell in love immediately, I think. She wanted to take the treasury position, and she wanted money to treasure. So
Beautiful.
she went ahead and started writing these grants. I mean, I had the grant itself in one of my bags, and it was a long-term goal.
Oh, my gosh,
when
and
you
it's
bring-
9,000 pages.
Oh my goodness! When you bring this one on, she was like, "We're going to do this. I want money for us. I want to bring it here." So she kept it every day. Come over, let's talk.
And what was your interest, Lori? What was your, your prompting, or what was your call to action?
Well, we had a woman in the community and her son passed away. And I went to the funeral and I didn't want to leave because it just looked like he was sleeping. He was 22 years old. And it just touched me because in my own experience, one of my children struggled, and I always felt just very blessed, and we did a lot of things, and we went through a lot, but at any given moment, things could go any way. You just don't know how come some people slip under the wire and some people don't.
You know, it's interesting because people who don't have addiction in their family per se will say, I don't struggle with the disease of addiction yet. Because at any point in time, right, you don't know what you
just
don't
don't
know.
Everybody's path
Yes.
to get better is different, and that's what I noticed. I realized it doesn't make any sense. It's not a logical thing. It's something that has to happen and evolve. And I personally wanted to make sure that I was a positive influence in this, to always be helping people push further. So what I envisioned with working with the coalition was to make sure that we connected people with the resources that they need, to make sure the professional services are available. If they're not, find ways to bring them in and get them where they need to be, to make our people aware.
Yes, because I can tell you when I went through this, there's no easy access.
No.
You have no idea, and whoever is starting that journey into hell, and that's what it is.
That's right.
Your head is spinning, you're still going to work, you're still raising a family, you have all of those things going on, and you're scared to death.
Exactly. And people say you need help. And
You
you're
need
like,
help, but you have no idea where to turn.
Exactly.
How to turn, where to go, and there's no clear roadmap.
No.
There's no, just call here and we'll slow down and
Nope.
we'll
There's no road.
take time to help you. There's nothing. So I know how difficult it is.
So that's
And
what
it
we
still is,
Well,
believe
we
it or
visit.
not.
We-
And
we
there's
just-
a lot going on, but there's a lot more that needs to happen.
We visit different places. We try, if we're going to refer people to different resources, we kind of test them out. Because I know also, when you're in crisis, a lot of times people they're afraid of you. Because you're trying to save your child's life. You're intimidating, to say the least. And, I just wanted to make sure nobody felt that, anybody, that they were alone. That's
Yes.
very important to us in Lindy Cares, and that's why we're so excited, because we have engaged youth that feel the same way that we do. And we just feel that in Lindenhurst, if we start to build this, and we also work with different coalitions, and we collaborate on all levels. Now federal, because we have the grant, local, city. Our mayor is amazing. Judy can call him. He writes personal checks before we're funded, because everybody knew how important it was for us to get
Well,
this off the ground.
We're all hit especially hard, but Lindenhurst for some reason too. And it was my honor to speak last year with the youth, with your eyes wide open. And that was absolutely amazing. To see them open the door for their peers who, if you remember that day,
I sure do.
came up and were sharing their stories. That one young man that got sober. He was an alcoholic in the 9th grade and got himself sober because he had nowhere to go. And to share that with your peers is just unbelievable.
There's healing in that.
There's so much healing in that. But I think that one of the biggest things is, you mean other people have these feelings?
Mm-hmm.
You mean this is happening in somebody else's life? Because when you're in that, the disease looks to isolate, to separate, and to whisper bad things in your ear to make you not feel good about yourself. So when other people can come forward and say, hey, I went through that. I know how you feel. You are going to open up and, and latch on. And, and that's the power of being in a group, I think,
Without a doubt. I am a woman with long-term recovery myself. And as a result, it's been 24 years since I've taken a drink or a drug. And as a result of that, I'm a mother to my children, a wife to my husband. I'm an owner of my own business today, and I'm able to have incredible passion for this change, this movement. I think that's been our driving force, is this crazy desire to want to make change. Your child will not, die in vain.
No.
And I feel so grateful today to have this movement is getting louder and louder.
It really is.
It really is. It's
We
amazing,
don't
isn't
have
it?
to do this. We never go alone ever again.
No.
See, for 24 years, my experience has been I do not go alone. But I am a child of alcoholics. My mother overdosed 32 years ago from this disease. And you know what? There was not the awareness. There was not the
No,
conversation.
you were isolated. You were
Very
that
isolated.
family.
And my
Right.
mother was a very, very intelligent woman.
Right.
She really was, but
But
we
you
didn't
were
talk
that
about it.
family,
Yes.
and people judge you before you with that stigma. But meanwhile, the disease doesn't discriminate. There's no education barrier, no wealth barrier, no color barrier. There are no barriers. It is indiscriminate as
Well, what I did
to who it
realize, though,
affects.
As a result of it being in my genes, my kids will be more
Yes.
predisposed to this disease.
Yes.
So I need to kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
I want to increase their protective factor
Yes.
within their life and their community.
Their awareness to
Their
what
awareness.
the consequences can be.
And a lot of parents today, I find, say, well, I talk to my kids about this at home. That's great, and it does start at home. But our kids go to other people's homes.
Yes.
They're affected. And it's a strange day when our kids can access heroin easier
On the
than
internet.
they can get
Yeah.
cigarettes.
It's not good.
I know.
So, we invite our community to check your medicine cabinets.
Yeah.
Dispose of any leftover coke.
And report people who indiscriminately
With
prescribe.
Well, yeah.
If your dentist gives you 90 Percocets for a wisdom tooth extraction, that needs to be brought up to someone.
I think something so basic as explaining to parents. Do you know many people don't understand that some of these drugs they're forms of heroin.
They are formed. Opiates are opiates.
All opiates, but people don't understand that.
No, people,
And-
because the doctor gave it to me.
Right,
So
well-
it must be
Yes.
okay.
But
for
our
me.
goal is to learn, to empower our community through conversation, through asking questions. It's okay. When my doctor, my pediatrician, asked me to step out of the room so she can talk to my 17-year-old, I need to say, what are you going to talk about? And then I need to find their views
Right.
on what how they would handle if my child was using a drug. That's really important. I want to be empowered, and I want to teach other parents to be empowered.
Absolutely. And the maddening part about that statement that you just made, which still makes me crazy, they are under the age of 18. They are on your insurance. You are, fiscally responsible for them. You are everything to them. And yet that information could be withheld from you.
That's right.
And
But
that's
it's
so,
really bad.
so
Because
when we
you
have
could do
it,
things to help that kid. That's
You
what
can
happened to
have
me
it-
with my daughter.
Right.
It was a private thing, and they wanted to give her a lot of medication, and I didn't feel right about it, but there was privacy issues, and in later years when she and I spoke and I learned about things that if I had known at the time, I could have made her path easier,
Right.
but nobody told
Or
me.
maybe not, but you would have had the
I didn't have a
opportunity
chance.
to,
you know?
to have the discussion with her, to do what you needed to do for your child. Because nobody knows their child better than their mom.
Right.
I don't care
It's
what
true.
anybody says. You know, your mom, your dads too, but women are nurturers, so it's just different. There's an innate intuition for everything. And we're going to be right back after this message with the youth of Lindenhurst.
Hey folks, this Friday night, November 13th from 6 to 10, we have Bets for Vets. Come on out, it's casino night, and it's a night filled with entertainment. We have two of Long Island's very best comedians. We have Tim Thompson and John Santo. Bring an extra pair of underwear, folks. You're gonna wet your pants, I guarantee it. Tim's all over Long Island, all over Manhattan. John Santo impersonator. You close your eyes, you're gonna think you're in the room with Tony Soprano himself. We also have two singers, Les Deegan. Les does Frank Sinatra like nobody can. Nobody's business. Long Island's very own Tommy Marr. Tommy is one of the owners of Madhouse TV. He's a rock and roll soul singer. This guy's phenomenal, man. Come on out. I am the DJ for the night. You want to do the electric slide, I'll play the electric slide. You want to do some AC/DC, we'll do some rock and roll into AC/DC. I am your DJ. Don't forget, folks, it includes some food. Food, how can you beat it, man? 20 bucks, come on out, support our veterans. Let's show our veterans our appreciation. Never forget those who spent their lives protecting yours. Peace.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Welcome back to Long Island in Crisis, and my very special guest tonight, I think everyone from Lindy Cares is here, so, which is awesome. So, top 3 things that you want to accomplish. What's your top 3 goals?
Okay. We've purchased, with some of the grant money, a prevention curriculum that really goes hand in hand with our physical education. And our
What's the name of the
school-
program?
It's called Life Skills.
Okay.
One thing about Lindy Cares is we,
Well, because the schools will say, with Common Core, there's not enough time for the curriculum, and
well, we're very tricky. We found one that aligns with Common Core.
And we have an
Beautiful.
amazing
Yeah.
superintendent
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
willing to work with us.
Right, our
Excellent.
superintendent, so our curriculum provides a language arts Common Core credit if you do it.
Beautiful.
It also really promotes healthy living, healthy lifestyle changes, decision-making skills. Lindy Cares.
Coping skills?
We love coping.
Coping.
Yeah.
We love coping because we feel that a lot of stuff's gonna happen. And we'll tell the kids, it's not gonna be all peachy.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to handle it. You have to figure out ways to go about it. I cope with things that happen to me. A long-term recovery person has learned to cope and live and make things better. You cope.
I
We
cope.
all have special skills that we can share. It's not natural. We say it's not natural. We say you have to show people sometimes. So that's what we do.
You know, our friend Kim Lauby, and when she speaks to children, so Kim runs Hugs, but she said she will talk to, say, 200 8th graders, and she'll say, does everyone tell you how awesome you are, how great you are, all of those things? And every kid will raise their hand, and then she'll say, do they show you how to feel awesome? And nobody raises their hands. So that's so important, because to be able to, parents always think, and as kids, you're going to say, of course, you have to say I'm awesome because I'm your kid. But why am I awesome? And how do I show up to be better than I was the day before? Because that's all life is about. Just try to be better than you were the day before, the hour before. Because, when my son died, I could have taken sleeping pills, I could have drank. No one would have criticized me for doing those things because of what happened to me. But at the end of 6 hours, 6 years, 6 months, I would have had to cope with what happened to me. So you do your best you can, and then you gotta let go, right?
So that's exactly, our goal is to build as much self-esteem as we can, but by the way we do it is we want to empower the kids.
Yes.
We want to ask them to, take responsibility for their own and tell us what they need, and they do. Judy started in the first year of the coalition a small scholarship for students, and they gave us all this information, almost a blueprint on what they needed from us, and that's actually what guides us. We don't make these decisions on our own. Our board participates, but mostly it's what we hear from them. So
Okay.
this is our Lindy Youth Leaders, and they've all come and they wanted to talk to you a little bit about what they
Okay.
do.
Who wants to go first?
Patrick
Okay.
is going to tell us.
Patrick,
You're elected.
you're elected.
So basically, over the summer, we did a family fun day, which incorporated, well, we fundraised for it. We had a car wash to raise money for it. Then we had it at the local park, and we did face painting, prizes, and it was full of donations. We had like food and everything, but it was really just a good way to get the community to come together, because as they said, more people, they did a survey and more kids in the community wanted more fun activities. So it was our way of getting the kids to come together for an afternoon of fun. It was like the last weekend of summer, right before school started. So it was like,
And it was free, so parents
Free.
could come. That's awesome.
and it had a great turnout.
But it was youth-driven.
Yeah.
The beauty of it
Youth-driven.
is some of our adult leaders got cold feet. These guys wouldn't let us off the hook.
Awesome.
They had a vote.
Excellent.
The grown-ups were getting angry, they were trying
Did
to
you,
cancel.
did you arrange to hand out literature or anything
Yes,
on?
we made flyers. With Lori's help, it was like buckets and sand castles and suns all on the poster just to make it look fun. But yeah, the adults started getting nervous about like the weather that day and the people involved and stuff. But like I reminded them that it's not really about them. It's about the community and getting people together. And that's why I love Lindy Cares so much, because it's a mix of literally everybody under the sun. You have athletes, boys, girls, little kids, seniors, everybody. So it's a mix, it's like a whole big crayon box, and that's what makes everything so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. And Elise, actually, she designed the flyer, and we plastered it all over town.
She was the driving force
Yeah.
behind that
She really
car
did.
wash, too.
Yep.
Because when I was younger, I wished that we had more community events and stuff, and I didn't have that. So I
Okay.
found myself straying with the wrong crowd, and then they pulled me back in.
Wow.
So I want the same for other young people who need a place to feel like they belong.
Have any three of you lost friends?
Not personally, but we did, in our case, lose someone in our school, and you see the impact it takes on. Like,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
friends that were close, and you see the impact that it takes on them.
upset
ve-
they get,
yeah.
it affects you.
Yeah.
It's not just one person's choice and then that's it. It affects everybody. And that's why it's Lindy Community Cares, because it raises awareness that everyone's actions affect more than just you. It affects everybody.
And
Yeah.
it's really great, like Avi said, how we have so many different people here. You know, people who want help, sometimes they don't always feel comfortable going to a grown-up. So if they want to come to me or Avi or Pat, they know that that's someone that we could even find them help through my mom or through Lori.
Okay, now, what if they say they want to be kept anonymous? Do you feel compelled? Because sometimes people tell me things that's way above my pay grade. So I know that there are things that I can't hold, you know, that's really going to impact their recovery or their health or, you know, what's going to happen to them in the next 15 minutes. So do you guys talk it over with each other, or you,
It's a fine line. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't want to
Yeah.
give up like a friend, like
an
trusting in
anonymity?
you.
Yes,
But at the same time, like you can't have that guilt on your hands.
right.
So Judy provides us with the training to handle certain issues, like whether you need to go to the next step or just like watch them for a little bit. But like it's good that they came to you to vent to.
Absolutely.
But I mean, it's a life too.
Absolutely.
So I'd rather ruin a friendship than
Yeah.
Without a
lose
doubt.
life.
Right. And, you know, at some point in time, they will know that you didn't ruin it. They'll be angry at first, but it comes full circle. When somebody gets help, they realize what, you know, what you did for them. So then you can have a
the goal.
long, yeah, that's the goal. So what kind of training do you get them so that they can distinguish?
First of all,
We just did
we
Noel.
don't, we do definitely some community things. Noel was a big, we sit around and we do a lot of talking.
Okay,
And sometimes it's on the way to a lacrosse game.
absolutely.
Sometimes it's on the way to field hockey.
I feel that.
It's not so much training sometimes.
Okay.
It's just a conversation. It's just a mom saying, I love you, what's going on?
Right.
And sometimes I just don't buy some of the stories they give me, and I dig a little deeper. And then when we get down to the root of what's going on, I love them anyway.
Of course.
That's why I love Judy, because she's like my second mom, really. And she picked me up when I was down and never judged me, not even once. So I hope that I can offer that same type of assistance to somebody else. Like I don't want anyone to feel like they're being judged by when they talk to me, because I'm not in the position to. But I just want to be those open arms that you can run to, and that goes for Pat or Victoria or anybody else in Lindy Cares. And there's a ton of other people who aren't in Lindy Cares, but like are interested in helping others. And that's all you need, just a friend.
So that's goal 2. So goal 1 is the prevention and awareness.
Yes.
Goal 2, you answered 3. You're up to 2. This is, let me just tell you, see what she just said? Goal
Yes.
2 is the judgment free.
No
Goal
stigma.
2 is saying
No
every,
stigma.
Break the stigma.
we had a Narcan training, remember that? And we were all in the same room. We were so pleased because there were 3 parents there whose children had just come out of rehab. And we knew who they were, but we were all together in the room. And we had someone afterwards the next day say, people will think we're druggies. I'm like, no.
You know what? I will.
We're all on the level playing field. That's what we want.
There's a life lesson in that. People will think.
We don't.
I don't care what
We don't-
anybody
we
thinks
really
about me because people close to me know who I am, what I stand for.
That's right.
And anyone that stands on the periphery, they can think whatever they want. It doesn't impact my life one way or another. Shame on them. And on that note, we'll be right back after this message.
Hey everybody, I want to tell you about something phenomenal. A casino night, November 13th. Bets for Vets. We're going to have some big headliners there. Tommy Marr, rock and roll legend from Long Island. Les Deegan is going to be there singing some crooning songs. We're going to have 2 phenomenal comedians, Tim Thompson and impersonator comedian John Santos. We're going to have a great DJ there. $20 admission. The door opens up at 6 p.m. November 13th. And it's 370 Vanderbilt Motor Parkway in Hauppauge. 6 p.m. November 13th. $20 admission. The doors open up at 6 p.m. plus a complete casino night. We'll have blackjack, slot machines, you name it. It will be there. Grand prizes, 50-50, door prizes, things like flat screen TVs. I mean, this is going to be big. So mark your calendars for November 13th. Please, guys, come out, support our veterans.
Why do cats stare when you're pouring milk? It's like they know it's only a matter of time. Time. The only thing between them and opposable thumbs. Imagine that. Cats with thumbs. And what if they got together? Gangs of cats with thumbs. An organized army with one thing on their mind. Cravendale. Well, jog on, kitties.
Instead of mailing everyone my vacation photos, I'm saving a ton of time by posting them to my wall.
Ooh, I like that one.
It's so quick. It's just like my car insurance. I saved 15% in just 15 minutes.
I saved more than that in half the time.
I'd unfriend you.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
15 minutes for a quote isn't how it works anymore. With Esurance, 7.5 minutes could save you on car insurance. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, and the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV. You are the man.
Welcome back to Long Island in Crisis, and we are here with some really awesome kids. No offense, ladies, but the kids are rocking
All
it.
right, that's fine.
So you're reaching out to your peers, and your peers are reaching back to you because they're getting into things that they're very uncomfortable once they've gotten there. And sometimes, I do remember being a kid, it's sometimes hard to get back out once you've gotten into something, right? There's no easy way to get out. So what do you suggest to them then? What would you tell them?
Don't be afraid to look bad in front of people. Like, if you don't feel comfortable drinking, leave. I mean, people might judge you, but if you really don't feel comfortable, it's better to sacrifice your social status than to put yourself in a situation you might not be able to undo.
Not even just that, people will respect you more if you just say, I'm not drinking tonight.
Right.
Why aren't you drinking? I just don't wanna. And then it's just, all right.
It's your
like,
personal choice.
Whatever.
It is a personal choice, but a lot of teenagers don't have that kind of confidence that you guys are showing. And I think that's the word, they want to fit in, and
Yeah.
probably more so boys than girls. They want to be able to talk to girls, so they need a little something
Take off the edge.
to take off the edge, and that's always the word, right?
Yeah.
So how can we help teenagers be able to talk to one another without having to use a substance? Now, I know we talk about heroin all the time. No kids are starting with heroin, right, though? Cigarettes, alcohol, and pot.
Well, I want to just say one thing. We had input from other teens as well. And one of the things that helped us make a decision on our action plan this year had to come from some of the higher achieving students have a lot of pressure on them. Pressure to perform.
I don't even know.
The winner of our essay, scholarship essay this year, at her final sentence said that they really need a safe haven and to make it easy for them to grow up. And in order for our kids to grow up, they have to know that we are grown-ups. We're not buddies.
Right.
We're here for them in every sense of the word. We want nothing but the best for them. But
we're your parent, not your friend.
Exactly. And a caregiver, whoever, we're very,
Whoever that person is, your
whoever it
go-to
is.
person.
That's right.
Everybody needs a go-to person. And it really doesn't matter who that go-to person is, as long as that you feel comfortable, they're
Right.
reliable, and,
And we want them not to feel that kind of pressure to perform in sports, pressure to take the tests. And sometimes they are watching the media and everything, and it's an outlet. They're watching you. Oh, I had a hard day, I'm going to have a drink. So there's examples that are being set by just society in general.
Well, I challenge parents, and I'm not the alcohol police by any means, but babies know how to swipe your iPhone, know how to swipe your iPad. They watch, and from 18 months on. So if I always see mom and dad have to have a substance, or my family when they come over for a birthday party, or from that age up, you're their biggest role model.
Yeah.
That's
So
one of the
you need to
questions we
challenge
ask people.
parents and the adults in the community. You need to show children how to have fun. Whitewater rafting, bike riding, all of that. Being stupid to having water, balloon fights. All of those things, right? Just having fun. Just good, clean fun.
We were searching as a family when my kids were younger for something that didn't involve eating or
Right.
shopping. Can we do something that doesn't involve these things, and drinking or whatever? But that's another place that we need kids who are feeling good about themselves, because they will lend the helping hand. We want everybody, when you need us, we're here for you. And when you don't need us, we'd like you to be there for others. So
Yes,
that
pay it
is-
forward.
That's exactly what these kids
So
are doing.
that's a great question. How does it feel to pay it forward?
Awesome. I'm
Yeah.
a product of it. I mean, when I was a freshman, there were tons of seniors who reached out to me and put me under their wing and made me a stronger person. I wasn't always this strong and had this confidence to say no and just make choices.
And what grade are you in now?
I'm a senior.
Okay, okay, excellent.
I'm done.
Patrick, how about you?
I think it feels great to pay it forward. I think we've really been exposed to how bad things can get, and knowing that we can have a positive impact on someone, it really feels great. We can't change everyone, but even the
Just
little-
one.
changing just one, and it was all worth it.
Just one.
Mhm.
Because when you change one,
They can.
they change one,
yep.
and it's wildfire.
Yep.
So, that's so important. But when you take yourself out of things and just do because it's the right thing to do, what comes back to you?
Good karma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Good
certainly, you get back so much more than you've ever given in many different ways, right?
Like me and Avery's both play sports, and now we're seniors playing varsity sports. A lot of younger kids look up to you, and when
Oh.
you see them come to you, like, "Oh, hi Victoria, hi Avery's, like, what are you doing today? Can you give me a ride?" Like, and then they see you do good things. It feels good when you know that they're gonna follow in your footsteps because they look up to you.
Absolutely. So you have to be the example because there's so many bad examples in the world today, especially with professional sports. And they certainly glamorize all the wrong things. All the wrong things. There's a certain family on TV with daughters that I'll just say, I won't even say their name because it's just ridiculous, right? What happens? That's not what life's about.
We
So-
actually brought Chris Herron. Chris Herron came and spoke to our
I saw
That
him
was
speak.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely try to involve that. And another place that's really kind of important to our coalition, the third goal, so to speak, we have many, but we're really interested in that point in time where access to community level care and services can help people come back from, say, a rehab situation.
So we're talking about sober living, really having that halfway house to transition back into the world.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people know that, it's more hopeful. We hear a lot of stories, that, they say when you come out of a rehab situation, we have an alternative learning center in our school. And I think sometimes it's in that area where people can be lost again.
Oh, without a
So-
doubt. Well, first off, on Long Island, and you guys can help me, but we are working on a sober high school. There needs to be sober high schools unfortunately, on Long Island, because there's way too many kids coming back, and they need to be
That was
cohesive
big.
together.
That was a big goal of mine
Yeah.
at one time, but
Okay, well,
it's been put on the.
it'll-
Well, now what we're doing in the meantime, we have our community work that we can do. We have now been funded, so just what Patrick said, if it's one person at a time, so what we can do on our level right now is to make sure that when the people are, because you can't always escape to a haven. Life is right here, and we're living it right here.
Unfortunately, if you're lucky enough to get 28 days of care, if you're lucky enough, and I'd say that you are told when to get up, when you're eating, what you're eating.
Right.
There's no decision making in it. Everything is provided right there for you. Now, your 28 days, which really is no time,
Yeah.
and you come out and, okay, go to outpatient. Well, how do I get to outpatient? How do I make the right choices? Because I still have this voice telling me, hey, you know what? Why don't you just walk past the deli where you used to buy, and why don't you just turn around?
I'm a big supporter of 12-step programs. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You get a
Absolutely.
daily reprieve if you know, and they're going on all over every night of the week, all day long.
They are, but early in recovery, that's a problem. You need to have a strong support system. So if
But
someone,
my number is all over the
Yeah.
place.
Absolutely.
On literature, because I will go and pick people up.
Yeah.
I will call,
We have that.
call an interventionist and get them to somebody's house within 2 hours. We work to try to get people into treatment and.
But wouldn't it be
And
nice
this
to
is-
have people to be able to come
Well,
to a community living center
Oh,
where
absolutely.
This is
10
our
people,
dream, eventually,
well, that's
yeah.
what
We wanna
Thomas's
set up
Club
a
is working
team.
on. So I have a foundation
We
too,
wanna
but
run
that's my
counseling
biggest,
center.
We
That's
wanna-
my
yeah, we
biggest
have-
thing,
that's
too.
one thing. But one thing that we did do, one of our accomplishments, baby steps, is we petitioned Oasis to provide some funding for our town. They have the Beacon Family Wellness Center, and we asked them, we want to make it accessible. We have the counseling center, but a lot of people don't know about it. So Lindy Cares tells people what's available. That's number one. And we, get the agencies in touch and come and give us presentations. But we are going to have a satellite day. They're going to come on site once a week, and we're going to have, for people who don't have a ride to the Beacon Family Wellness, or people who don't know about it, and someone who is maybe coming back from a more secure area,
Facility, yeah.
they have a place to go. If they start to feel that they need extra support, it's going to be there for them. So,
Yeah.
and we're waiting for the approval on that. And like Judy said, we have such a great superintendent. He's provided a space for this.
Beautiful.
And our town is working with us. So that's another, that's one of our accomplishments last year.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, so
That
we're
really
pretty
is.
proud of that. And that started way back when one of the kids in the school that no one knew was affected by a heroin addiction passed away, 16 years old. That was what really got everybody going crazy.
Yeah. We'll be right back after this message.
Hello, ladies.
Is what a dummy would say. Smart people use bear glove. Trees and sticks? No thanks. Get the respect you deserve with Bear Glove. And if you're not convinced, it's time to...
Be quiet, Painting. We're playing chess. Checkmate, Timber.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I think this is a good time to tell you. You're doing okay, Mom. I can call you Mom, right? I know we haven't known each other very long, but you seem like a real keeper. You're not perfect. There was that strained carrots incident, but you're trying. You pick up my bottle every time I toss it out of my stroller. That's high comedy to an 8-month-old. You hum the Barber of Seville when you wash my hair. So cool. And your rub-downs are out of this world. Anyway, I want you to know how much I appreciate you. You know, right? How much I love you? You're doing okay, Mom.
And we're back with some really, this show is just amazing me too tonight. So what communities can do and what needs to be done. So, you know, when I speak, and I speak all over the state to people in treatment, and I always ask the question, what age would you go back and speak to yourself not to do drugs? And overwhelmingly, the answer is always 12. Sometimes younger than that, which still 12 boggles my mind, but 10 really boggles my mind.
I would go even younger.
Yeah.
I would start 3rd grade, like literally, maybe even kindergarten, because
Well, I think there's things you can teach the kindergartners to empower them to start thinking differently. Yeah.
as parents, like you want to keep your kid in a bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how a lot of parents are. But when you go to middle school and then you go to high school, you're shell-shocked. Because if you're not prepared, you have no idea what's going on, and that makes it that much harder to say no and not be a follower.
The other thing that parents do is think that their kids don't know what they know. And that's a big problem. So, you know, when you know, as parents, right, we look at our children and we say, oh, my baby, you know, too young to be involved in that. And I think that's just, in this world, the world moves at warp speed for you guys. So the more that we can do and empower you, to really, because there are consequences that sometimes you can't come back from.
And I think what we're doing right now with all of the Eyes Wide Open things in the high school is really great, because for someone like me who was raised in a household where my mom was constantly telling me all the negative side effects and all the bad things and how it really doesn't lead you down a great path in life, you need those reminders throughout high school just to bring you back to where you were when you were in 5th grade and your mom was telling you how bad drugs are. Because when you're in high school, it kind of turns into,
It's okay.
you know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah, it's not.
It's not just parents either that have an effect on children. Like, you watch TV, you're on social media, how many hours are in a day?
Yeah.
So now the viewpoint of drugs and alcohol from the world, from media, from athletes, from actresses, famous people, now their view of it is going to be washed onto you.
Yeah.
And it's hard to fight all that.
It is hard to but you have to have armor to put on.
Yeah.
You got to have the answer for
Like
all
self-love
that.
and self-respect.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Confidence, self-esteem, you know, the power to make decisions that
But that's
include-
going to impact children in all, not just drugs and alcohol.
That's right.
But self-respect. You know, if you're always acting, you know, you don't have to show the world all your stuff. The world needs to see what's inside of you more than what's on the outside. That's, you know, that has nothing to do with anything really. Get to learn the person within and hold yourself to that level of respect too. You know, things move way too fast for them.
It's true. It's true, Linda.
Way too fast. So the Eyes Wide Open, the video, unbelievable. I saw it last year. Actually, the video and the stage
amazing.
presentation. I mean, just incredible.
Judy was crying. She
Yeah.
I cry every year. Every year.
Well, you know what? Because it's for real.
and it just shows how easy it can happen.
Yeah.
It was just
But it happens in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Happens
That's
in a
what really,
heartbeat.
I think that had a lot of impact. That's why we want him, I think we're going to be doing it at the school for our parent forum on February 29th. We also have a meeting in January. We do Spirit of Community, which we invite all the different organizations in our town to come and to talk about what they do, because you know, you hear so much of the negative stuff.
Yes.
And we want to really promote positive. We're always trying to promote the positive side of everything.
Nobody looks at the positive side of anything anymore. You know, it is terrible.
And our
So you
goal is-
turn on the news. There's a lot more positive things that happen in the world than negative.
But they don't
really
get the
do.
airtime.
They don't get the airtime, and they don't get the they don't get the ratings.
So
as they
that's
say.
So that's we work on that. We also we are really in enhancing our communication program, meeting with our sector reps. We're doing a Lights of Hope this Saturday.
Yes.
Which
Lights of Hope in Copeg.
That's right.
Our Lady of Assumption.
We're doing it
Okay.
together with Copeg. And we're at www.lindacares.org. You can make a donation.
You can reach out on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook
You
as
can
well.
reach out. So you have a website. Say it
Yes.
again. Say it louder.
It's lindacares.org.
lindycares.org.
That's right.
You can reach out to Thomas's Hope or to myself, and we can get you all the information for Lindenhurst. And, you know, I think that we need to encourage all the coalitions to come together and let your youth speak into other lives too, because you guys are the future. You don't realize the impact that you have on your friends. You know, maybe you do, and maybe there's someone that you've spoken to that you had no idea what was going on in their minds, and that I can tell you. And you don't ever need to know, but know that you're making a difference. That's, you know, that's so important. So what would your closing remark be tonight?
That I'm grateful to be on this journey. That I'm passionate and truly blessed to have and to be a part of a movement of people who are willing to say, I'm not comfortable just being quiet anymore.
Right. Well,
That if your
that
child
definitely
suffers,
has
my
happened.
child suffers.
Yes. If your child, society suffers. You know, we are losing a generation of kids. We are losing a generation of people. An article came out the other day on white males 45 to 55 that are committing suicide because they're addicted to painkillers, they're addicted to things, and they have no way out. So, but those kind of deaths don't make the statistics, and that's what's truly happening. Never mind the fact that we have youth in this country using synthetics or that have gone, you know, they're in a nursing home for the rest of their lives. We have a big problem, we're going to have a bigger solution. And the world needs to come together and just say no and come together and be a society once again where everyone matters. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week, and we will continue this journey of empowering society.